Welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news show brave enough to report that Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't a catastrophic failure.
Well, that's true, but it's not quite a smash hit either. Not yet, anyway. We previously covered the game's critical reception. Pretty good. Earned it an 81 on Metacritic, the venerable 8 out of 10. But the game is out now, which means we have sweet player data. Also, as a brief aside, I'm in a park right now. You can see the noble game developer grazing behind me peacefully. This is where everybody goes to network, I think, if you don't want to buy a GDC pass.
Well, good luck out there, Lawrence. Hopefully you'll meet some people that will give you some free video games.
Oh, one can only hope. That's why we do it, isn't it, Bruce?
All right, let's talk about the Assassin's Creed Shadows player counts, because we've gotten a pretty good amount of data so far. So Ubisoft shared on X that AC Shadows had more than 1 million players in its first 24 hours.
Yeah, we're kind of getting more announcements like this, right? The milestones, 2 million. That's good. It's good for the first day, but Ubisoft's probably hoping for a lot more than 1 million.
Steam reviews almost perfectly mirror the Metacritic, 81% positive at the time of writing on Steam, which in my opinion is actually more positive than I expected.
I agree, but on Steam, you have to buy the game to review it. So that may be a factor. It's also currently number 2 in the top sellers charts, according to SteamDB. Not bad. It hit a max concurrent player count of 47,600 players just a few hours ago.
So that should go up over the weekend, but I feel like that's pretty low. But maybe people are playing it, and I don't know, who knows? Maybe that's a console game generally.
It's pretty low for something. It's not like a breakout hit. And usually, yeah, in the first 24 hours, if you break 100K, that's a really good sign that you're going to just take off. So yeah, not bad. Not great. Probably not what Ubisoft was hoping for.
Yeah, if you compare that to other Assassin's Creed games on Steam, the launch for Valhalla was 15,000 concurrents. Origins had 41,000 concurrents. Odyssey had 62,000 concurrents, which is somehow better than Shadows, which I'm kind of surprised by. Important to note, none of these games launched day one on Steam, so Assassin's Creed Shadows should be doing better.
Yeah, it should. There's still the weekend to go, so we'll see where it climbs over that. And then also, of course, it's selling on other platforms. But yeah, all the other Assassin's Creed games, I want to say they hit Steam months after they launched on Ubisoft's platform. So yeah, for a simultaneous release, you'd probably hope that the Steam numbers would blow all the other ones away.
Yeah, especially since they're giving whatever 30% of the cut, 20% of the cut to Valve.
Exactly, yeah.
For all those copies sold. So Lawrence, the question is, do you think Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to save Ubisoft? Because everyone sort of looks at this as this is Ubisoft's last gasp before they either have to sell or break up or do whatever.
I think they're going to have to do something. Yeah, I don't think this was the smash hit that they're going to need to totally revitalize their business and protect all their business interests. They'll probably have to sell off some IP or enter some kind of co-publishing agreement or something. Who knows how bad it is from our perspective? Certainly the internet likes to catastrophize things. So who knows? And also games these days, you usually can't call it in the first weekend. You used to be able to. So if they continue to patch it and update it over the course of this year, it's possible that those sales numbers will trickle in. But I feel like even that phenomenon has been kind of backing off lately. I remember we covered the sales of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy XVI. Those were games that Square was probably hoping would have a very long tail, especially hitting new platforms like Steam, but it just didn't move at all. So I think there's just so much competition these days that you can't even really guarantee a long tail on a game like this, even if you continue to patch and update it. But what do you think, Bruce? How do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, I agree. It's weird because the more that I stream this game, the more I talk to people about Ubisoft, not the games, but Ubisoft in general. I think so many people want to see Ubisoft die. So I don't think it matters how good a video game is. I think they want Ubisoft gone. And that's, you're right, as a consumer. If you really hate a company and you don't want it to succeed, then there you go. That's what's going to happen. What's going to be interesting about that is, will those people then mourn the loss of all these amazing developers that work at Ubisoft that get laid off? Because there are a lot of really good developers. I still think Avatar, Star Wars Outlaws, those are massive games published by Ubisoft. But then AC Shadows is Ubisoft proper. And I think these games are good. I think the people that made these games are really, really good at what they do. And a lot of them are going to lose their jobs if Ubisoft goes out of business or breaks up.
Yeah, that's tragic from our perspective because we're games enthusiasts. And I think the more games, the better, no matter what, really. But yeah, there are people who I think are so burned out on that kind of loaded game that they'd rather them be gone versus just existing peacefully somewhere else. So yeah, sentiment's a funny thing. There are other companies that have survived waves like this, so maybe Ubisoft will pull through.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, and again, it's by no means your responsibility as a consumer to be like, we need to save Ubisoft. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this, they got themselves into this mess. They're the ones talking about how, you know, you're never going to own your games, and there's a quadruple A Skull and Bones and a lot of garbage that they keep saying that people keep hating. So that's on them. I will say that the developers really made a good game here in AC Shadows, and I don't know if it's going to get its due.
Yeah, it's been happening more and more lately, which is kind of tragic from my perspective. Yeah, time was, if enough time went by, people would eventually find the good games and enjoy them. Nowadays, like you said, I really think with Star Wars Outlaws, like you can have a AAA game that hits all of its marks and people just aren't there for it anymore. So yeah, Ubisoft kind of went all in on that business model. It worked for them for like 15 years, and then all of a sudden it's not. I think the extra tragic thing is they tried to do other stuff. You know, they tried... Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a unique game, a unique spin on a property. People say it's super well made. I only played it for like an hour, so I can't really attest to that, but it seemed awesome. And yet, no one was really there for it. People just got too much else to play, I guess.
I think it's that Ubisoft stink, Lawrence. I really do. I think it's very much like when we worked at Machinima and people hated Machinima so much anything that we did, didn't matter how good it was, people would be like, you're still at Machinima. So that's kind of the way it goes. But now we're no longer at Machinima, and instead, we are on your side.
Your free Epic game for this week is Jurassic World Evolution 2. How exciting.
That's actually a pretty good game, Lawrence. That's a pretty solid...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid free choice. Honestly, it's a fun video game. Also, Amazon Prime has a bunch of free video games this week. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood on, I believe, both Xbox and PC. Mortal Shell, Legacy of Kain Defiance, and Mafia 2 Definitive Edition.
Yeah, that's just a select. There's, of course, a lot more in there if you want to dig through. And then in terms of sales, Good Old Games is doing a spring sale. So if you want to pick up, gosh, their games are usually like $5. So now it gets marked down to like $1. So if you want to play some old stuff from the past, it's a good time. They also have things like Cyberpunk and some newer games that are on discount again. So it's worth checking out. Plus, I just like Good Old Games. I'll shout them out anytime I can.
The most important part about Good Old Games is that there's no DRM.
Yeah, and yeah, you can just like back up the installer and it works. It doesn't have to check the internet. Good stuff. If you're concerned about games preservation, or if you think we're, on the borderline of an apocalypse and you want to fill out your panic room with a bunch of games you'll be able to play when the world goes to shit, Good Old Games is your friend.
All right, let's move on to the video games coming out this week. First up, JDM, Japanese Driftmaster. Discover Japan's legendary car culture in JDM, Japanese Driftmaster. Take on challenging roads with refined simcade physics. Immerse in the story through manga pages and explore an open world inspired by stunning real-life areas. Every turn invites you to master the art of drift.
It sounds so awesome, doesn't it?
It does sound pretty cool. It comes to PC March 26th.
Next up, we got Atomfall. This has been getting some buzz lately, so I'm curious about this one. A nuclear disaster has left an area of Britain in tatters. Atomfall, a new survival action game, will see you explore, scavenge, craft, barter, and fight your way through beautifully recreated scenery in search of answers. A lot of people call it British Fallout, but I think it's a little more British than that. That's the tone I've been reading. Atomfall comes to PS5, Xbox, and PC on March 27th.
Next up, we have Hitman World of Assassination, but on VR. Visit exotic, meticulously detailed locations packed with creative opportunities. A tactile and immersive game world that offers unparalleled player choice and replayability. Where to go, when to strike, and who to kill. It's all up to you. It comes to PSVR 2 on March 27th.
Next, we have The First Berserker Kazan. The First Berserker Kazan is a hardcore action role-playing game. The player will become Kazan, the great general of the Pellos Empire, who overcame death and sets out to reveal the incidents that led to his downfall and seek vengeance on his enemies. The First Berserker Kazan comes to PS5, Xbox, and PC on March 27th.
Next up, we have Bubble Ghost Remake. Guide a small ghost in its bubble through an enchanted castle full of dangers and challenges in this incredible remake of the popular classic Bubble Ghost, which I didn't know was a classic.
Love Bubble Ghost.
Okay, I mean, yeah, sure. With over 40 levels of skill that include ingenious puzzles and challenging obstacles, get ready for hours of addictive gameplay. It comes to Switch and PC March 28th.
I think that was a Game Boy game a million years ago. I'd never heard of it. Anyway, next up, Inzoi. This is a fun one. Every life becomes a story. Create your unique story by controlling and observing the lives of Zois. Customize characters and build houses using Inzoi's easy-to-use tools to live the life of your dreams and experience the different emotions of life created by its deep and detailed simulation. This comes to PC on March 28th.
Lawrence, we actually have a few Zois that support our Inside Games Patreon every single month. And these Zoys are actually locked in a pool, and I took away the ladder. So now they just can't get out. They're going to drown. Buck, Old Baby Leg, and Ian McGee.
Oh, that's rough breaks. But I got some Zoys that are trapped in a basement with no door. So they've just pissed all over the place, and now they're huddled up on the floor, shivering, dying of hunger. I'm sorry, patrons, you deserve better than this, but it's how it is. Shaky Pants, DJ Kento, and Pablo Garcia. You'll feel right as rain as soon as you get a stack of pancakes and take a shower.